Welcome to the ISB show. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Ishana. Instant reaction to the U.S. women's national team's opener against Colombia in the SheBelieves Cup. A lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts, right, Ishana? Let's get into it. In the end, U.S. women get it done behind some top performances by some of the debut performances, a veteran that came back. We'll talk about all of it here. If you've been enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Ishana.
Well, I got my new Foxy jersey on, who never lets me down. But before we get into the US performance, I just want to give some quick thoughts because I don't know what it is about this game, but for some reason it just sort of clicked for me. I mean, looking at Ramirez, Usme, Santos, Caicedo, I mean, these are top players who are stars for their clubs in NWSL, WSL, Liga F, and there's so much talent on this pitch. Their sense of attack is so strong, and I just feel like if their federation could give them more investment, they would be such a better national team, and I think they would easily rival teams like the US, like England, who have this backing. And it just really, I don't know what it was about it, but it kind of reminded me that as much advancement as we've had in the US and across women's soccer as a whole, we're still very much fighting this issue. And especially these other countries are fighting it even more. And yeah, I mean, it's going in a positive direction, but I want more for them. And so, yeah, before we get into it, that's just my little spiel.
Yeah, Sean, I think that's a good point. Like the Colombian team, it's a very talented team. We talk about the likes of Linda Caicedo, who's on Real Madrid, of course. And, you see the quality here. It is unfortunate, you're right, that they just don't have the resources maybe as the U.S. team and how much more they can do, because we've seen this team before. We love watching this team. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think there's a lot of profit as well to be, in terms of just entertainment value. And I love watching them personally. In fact, I was a little disappointed that there wasn't some fighting this time. One of my favorite matchups ever was Morgan versus Usme. When we saw them, that little showdown. And they're super aggressive. I mean, I will say also, first of all, the ref, she should have been calling way more. She should have been controlling the game better. But I think we got a little bit lucky as well of some of those calls. I think particularly against Ramirez, who is one of my favorite players. I think more could have been called. And they're pretty decent off of set pieces and corners and those kinds of things. And they might have got one in that way.
Yeah. I think one thing, and that's talk a little bit about the U.S. now. I think who do you think had solid performances? I mean, we'll obviously talk about Sentnor in a second. She, of course, getting the big goal. But I think Emily Fox played very well on Linda Caicedo, right? Because Caicedo was quiet for the most part this match.
Yes, I think that was such a great matchup, and we're going to see that same battle against again in the Champions League with Madrid versus Arsenal. Super happy. And speaking of Arsenal, I was actually quite impressed with Nightswanger. She actually could have had a goal that was just skirted the post right there, but I thought she played great. She's super aggressive, and I am happy to see her to flocking over to Arsenal. And the other big player for me was Kat Macario. It was super awesome. First of all, great goal, great assist from Ryan, but it was also just so fun to see her on the pitch. She's such an aggressive player. She's so much fun to watch, and I just really enjoyed watching her.
Yeah, Kat Macario, a fantastic goal, a fantastic reemergence for the U.S. women's national team. All right, Shauna, now we got to talk about Sentnor, because what a performance, what a golazo, what a moment making your debut and playing like this. Or not debut, I should say, making your first start. She has played before for the national team.
Yeah, I mean, Sentnor reminds me of those girls I used to play soccer with the big blonde, either the bubble braid or the braid, and they usually have K-tape. I don't know, she didn't, but you were scared of this kind of person. And she not only was that a great goal, but across the board, I mean, she never lets herself fall. She is a very smart player. And yeah, I mean, as much also as Lily Johannes, great long ball. She's such a great passer. She's really good on the attack. She is super young, and I still do worry a little bit about her in the back. I think she's very casual on the ball, and some of those passes in the back, they're a little slow, and I don't have that same feeling with Sentnor. And obviously, she's had a great season, nominated for Rookie of the Year, and yeah, it was cool. She was so happy too to get that
Yeah,
goal, obviously.
it was an amazing moment for her. Overall. What would you rate the team overall? 1 through 10. What would you rate this performance?
I would probably give it a 7 for the US. I think Colombia gave them a little bit more of a challenge in the second half than the first, but um I would say there were a couple players who were quiet. I mean, Giselle Thompson, obviously she didn't get that much playing time, but I was kind of expecting a little bit more from her. We got to see Cooper McCune play. McCune, she had a good assist, but I also thought she was maybe a little bit quiet. And Sonnet, awesome to see her captain, to see her get her 100 caps. So yeah, all in all, I think it was decent. I thought Lindsay Heaps, no longer Lindsay Horan. I would say she played okay. She did get cut down quite a bit and fouled
Yeah.
quite a bit, so I think that was
Yeah.
working against her. But she had some good clearances, some good headers towards the end of the game that helped. Speaking of that, the only person we didn't really get to see much of was Jane Campbell. She didn't really have to do anything, and so it's not making that choice of who to see us succeed as goalie, succeed Alyssa Nair any easier. So we're gonna have to see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. I think overall a pretty solid performance overall for the US women's national team. And again, one quick note on Colombia. We talked a little bit about the potential there, but I think you think that they can take it a level up, right? Next match. It was a little bit of a not as solid of a performance, right, for Colombia that we normally see.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to see Ramirez back out there, and I love watching her play, and I thought she had I want to see more from her. I think she's like very much itching to score. So but yeah, as a whole too, just the start of the tournament, Japan beating Australia 4-0 too. I mean, it's there's a lot of I was not expecting that. So I
Yeah.
think it's a good tournament, and I'm happy the way that it started.
Yeah, and a lot for the U.S. women's national team still to do. Obviously, Japan throwing down a challenge right off the bat with a 4-0 victory against Australia. We'll see what happens now with the U.S. women. Will play Australia in the next match, another must-win for the U.S. to try to defend this title. And of course, Japan takes on Colombia. So all you fans out there of the U.S. women's national team, of Colombia, of women's soccer as a whole, let us know what you think about the She Believes Cup. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. Shauna, final thoughts as we move on.
I would say, solid debut, and I am excited to see more players play and to see how we progress.
All right. As always, we say, go USA. See you all soon.